Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC-TV18. Shifting focus to a headline from the courtroom. Trouble mounts for Ericsson as the NCLAT or NCLAT reiterates its order in the settlement case with Reliance Communications. The court had earlier observed that the Swedish tech giant may have to refund the settlement amount of about 578 crore rupees to Reliance Communications if insolvency proceedings are triggered against the company. Ashmit Kumar joins us with more. Ashmit, what instructions did the court give Ericsson?
Well, as you correctly pointed out, this payment of the settlement sum to Ericsson of 578 crore rupees has been sanctioned, has been authorized, has been on the back of an apex court order, of a Supreme Court order, and it is after that we have the NCLAT that is considering the RCOMM application for initiating IBC proceeding against the company, whereby consistently, for the last 3 hearings, consistently, the NCLAT has taken a position that its prima facie opinion is that if IBC is triggered, Ericsson will be asked to bring back that money, bring back that settlement sum of 578 crore rupees. Today was no different. The same observation fell from the NCLAT that they, in a manner of speaking, have their mind made that if this matter goes forward, if the IBC is triggered, the NCLAT will be directing Ericsson to bring that money back and to make that money subject to the IBC proceedings. Now, we spoke to a number of counsels involved in the matter. We spoke to a number of legal experts as well. A flurry of questions would arise if such a precedent is set. For instance, in any case of IBC, would payments to operational creditors before the triggering of IBC, would that also be called back? Questions such as that if it were to be called back, then to what extent, how far back can we go back in time to recall payments that have been made to operational creditors before triggering of IBC? Another interesting question that comes to light, let's not forget that just last month, the NCLAT has given the tax department the authority of being an operational creditor. Tax dues, is that something that can also be recalled back by the NCLAT? So some tough questions that the NCLAT will have to answer going forward as we await clarity on this particular issue, on whether or not, one, the IBC can be triggered against RCOMM, and two, and perhaps more importantly for Ericsson, will they be asked to bring that money back, 578 crore rupees back to RCOMM?
Ashmit, thanks a lot for that. And now with that, the SBI-led consortium of banks has invited bid for Jet Airways. This is a story that has been developing. The lenders are planning to sell up to 75% stake in the debt-ridden airline. 10th of April is the last day to submit the expressions of interest. Ritu Singh joins us with all the highlights of the EOI document. Ritu, what kind of investors can bid for the company and what's the criteria for selecting them?
Well, after a 2-day delay, banks have now invited bids to sell up to 75% stake in Jet Airways, and any strategic or financial investor can bid to acquire this stake in Jet. Now, the deadline to submit expressions of interest ends at 6 p.m. on 10th April as per the documents, and banks are looking to sell a minimum of 31% and a maximum of 75% equity stake in Jet. But do remember, with the debt conversion being stalled, the shareholding pattern for Jet currently remains unchanged, which means Naresh Goyal holds about 51% and Etihad 24% stake. So the lenders don't exactly hold direct equity stake in the airline, but we understand, of course, some shares are pledged to them. Therefore, the new investor would likely be buying equity from the existing shareholders. Now, as per the EOI document, if a strategic investor bids, the bidder must have a minimum net worth of 1,000 crore rupees as of financial year 18 and at least 3 years of commercial aviation experience. If a financial investor bids, they must have assets under management worth 2,000 crore rupees or availability of funds worth at least 1,000 crore rupees. Alternatively, the bid can also be made by a consortium of not more than 3 entities, with each entity holding at least 15% stake in the consortium. Now, do remember, we had earlier reported that private equity players like TPG Capital, Indigo Partners, as well as NIIF had shown interest in bidding, as had its partner Etihad Airways. But will any of them actually submit bids? We'll find that out on Thursday.
All right, Ritu, thanks a lot for that. So we'll definitely find that out on Thursday. Meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll also take a look at the Asian markets. They're slightly muted as we speak. The Nikkei is currently sitting with a cut of about 0.1%, while the Shanghai and early rates coming in from Hang Seng and Shanghai are telling you that mild declines are expected. The SGX Nifty, however, in light of that, is sitting with mild green. So let's see how this pans out through the course of the day, primarily given the fact that crude prices are at fresh 2019 highs.